know who your neighbors are? I live in a loft in a downtown area next to a few bars. The entrance to the building is a street-side unmarked door, randomly placed between businesses. It usually goes unnoticed. It opens directly to a staircase leading to the 3 apartments here. It's been a constant fear that drunk people from the bars mistakenly make their way into my foyer. Back in October, I had the shock of a lifetime. It was about 3 a.m. on a work night, and I woke up hearing 2 very distinct voices coming from my living room area. I have 2 friends who have keys to my place in case they are at the bar and need to sleep it off, but neither voice sounded like him. Then I heard what sounded like an eerie violin. I thought 2 drunk people had broken into my apartment, and I guess decided to watch a movie or something. I was freaking out and trying to figure it out. I just hid and hoped it would go away. Finally, the sounds just completely disappeared, which was just as disheartening. I didn't hear any footsteps, so it made me think they grew aware of my presence. I grabbed a weapon I keep next to my bed and slowly creeped toward the living room. Nothing was there. It was pitch black and everything was turned off. Turns out my neighbor, who owns the film studio I live above, pulled an all-nighter editing his entry to the Halloween horror film contest he hosts every year. He was reviewing his film and accidentally paired with my sound bar instead of his own. He played the audio very loudly to a horror film to me in my pitch black apartment at 3 in the morning. I was going to leave you a note, but I see that you are here. When I was 19, my parents and brother had gone away for the weekend, and I stayed behind. I had had a pretty rough night and was very drunk. I pulled a Britney Spears move and cut off all my long hair drunkenly, thinking to reinvent myself, because I was moving away for university the following week. When I finished rinsing the fresh cut hair off my neck in the shower, I left the bathroom to find a note in the hallway that said, "I was going to leave you a note, but I see that you are here." Naturally, I was walking around my house naked as I thought I was alone. But when I opened the door to my room, there was a guy with his hair in his face standing in the middle of the room, grinning at me. I freaked out and screamed bloody murder, as one tends to do when they are a naked 19-year-old girl encountering an unexpected stranger in their empty house at 2:30 a.m. until I recognized him. It was this boy I had dated in my first year of high school 3 years previously for 2 weeks until he ran away from home. Turns out he had heard I was moving away and just wanted to talk. He didn't hurt me or threaten me in any way, other than breaking into my house in the middle of the night, handed me some clothes from my bed, and we chatted until he eventually left. I found out 2 years later that he has been institutionalized with schizophrenia. Fame has its downsides. Our street is almost 200 years old and very picturesque, so it attracts tourists in our city. There have been more than a few times where I've come upstairs from the garden level kitchen or living room to the street level first floor to find that if I haven't closed the curtains, tourists will be peeking in, trying to see what the interior looks like. It's annoying and kinda creepy, but I'm used to it. One night, I came upstairs to go to bed to find some guy standing in front of our window. Our windows are the original casings, so they've got heavy wooden interior shutters we close at night. I closed one side because screw it, I don't care if you want to see our upstairs living room. I'm tired. I went to do the other and they just gave me this furious look. Like his face just twisted into so much anger and it stopped me in my tracks. We stared each other down for a few moments before he gave me this big, creepy, leering smile and walked slowly down the street. I think I woke up and checked our deadbolt and chain like 8 times throughout the course of that night. Home alone, or are you? When I was younger, I spent a day helping a neighbor rake leaves on his property. He was friendly with my family, so he walked me home to say hi to my parents. We walked into the house and heard my mom upstairs talking. It sounded like she was on the phone and walking around. I called for my dad, no answer. My neighbor says, "Well, it sounds like your mom is on the phone. I'll catch them another time." We say goodbye and he leaves. I go upstairs to see my mom, but I can't seem to find her or hear her anymore. I search the house and it's empty. I'm thinking, did she leave the house while I was saying goodbye to the neighbor somehow? I call my dad's cell. My mom didn't have one, and he picks right up. I ask him where he is, and if he knows where mom went. We are at a store. We've been running errands for a couple of hours. Instant goosebumps. My neighbor and I both heard footsteps upstairs, and a woman's voice. No idea who or what it was, but we both heard it. I waited outside until my parents got home.